I recently read The House of My Mother by Shari Franke.
I didn't read it. I listened to it on tape.
Which chronicles her mother, Ruby Franke's, rise to YouTube fame with her 8 Passengers family vlog channel.
She was the Utah mommy influencer known for her no-nonsense parenting.
I'm only going to say it one more time, and then you're going to lose the privilege to eat dinner.
Ruby Franke sharing her life at home with 6 children to her more than 2 million followers on YouTube.
The book also gets into her mother's subsequent formation of the Connexions self-help group, some would say cult, with the help of now disgraced family therapist Jodi Hildebrandt.
You wonder where I've been on my vlogs? You wonder why I left YouTube? It's to save my kids. No amount of money. And I'm telling you, I was making millions. And I left it because my kids were being hurt. With entitlement, they were being hurt with people's advice, and they didn't have a mother up the front saying, I don't care what the world's opinion is, this is the truth and this is where I stand.
If you followed this case for a while, you already know that in 2024, Ruby and Jodi received their prison sentences for child charges. One of Ruby's children escaped from the compound where he was trapped with his mother and Jodi and ran to a neighbor's house to get help.
Social media empire quickly unraveled when her youngest son escaped in August of 2023. This chilling 911 call leading to her arrest.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. Horrible people. Glad they're in prison.
In her memoir, Shari gives a closer look at her mother's tendencies. In her court testimony, Ruby tried to make it sound like she only enacted this abuse because she was under the evil influence of Jodi Hildebrandt. When you read this book, it's clear that that's not true, and that Ruby Franke has had a tendency to be physically and emotionally abusive from the get-go.
I was younger, around like 5, 6. Like, Ruby was really physical, like, you know, whether it was like a slap to the lip or a slap to the cheek. When I would practice the piano, you know, like her hand would slam, and like it was really scary.
In The House of My Mother and in a recent speech that she gave to Utah lawmakers, Shari states in no uncertain terms that she does not believe that there is any such thing as ethical family vlogging. And she has a thoughtful, well-considered reasons for this position.
But I want to be clear that there is never, ever a good reason for posting your children online for money or fame. There is no such thing as a moral or ethical family vlogger.
If you didn't know, Utah is a hotbed for family vloggers, and that's due in part to the fact that Utah has a huge Mormon population.
Utah is specifically a hotspot for family content due to the LDS culture around family and the goal to share the church with the world. We also have large families, which makes family content more lucrative.
We have a whole video on the connection between Mormonism and family vlogging, and I'll link that below. 2 of Ruby's sisters, Bonnie Holland and Julie DeRue, apologies if I'm saying either of those names incorrectly, both have their own family vlogs. Like I said, it's a very popular business in Utah. Both sisters claim that while they had concern about Ruby's parenting style, they did not know the extent of the abuse while it was happening. When the scandal first broke, Julie put out a video saying that she had no idea, basically distancing herself from her sister and saying, she's nothing like me. And then about 8 months ago, Julie put out another video saying that she would be moving away from family content.
If you are an OG, you will know that I have been doing this for a long time, the family channel content, and I have decided that I am going to bring that to an end. I am no longer going to be filming family content. However, I have one last video I want to post because we went to St. Louis for spring break and we had so much fun, and the kids love when I put together videos of traveling. That will be our last family content video, and then from that point forward I am going to be sharing with you what I love most, other than my family, of course, and that is cooking.
The other sister, Bonnie, has put out a video saying that while she sympathizes with her niece, with Shari's position, she believes that Shari only feels the way that she does about family vlogging because of her mom's abuse.
Which brings me to kind of an elephant in the room. At the end of Shari's book, she does say that she believes there should be no family vlogging. She has publicly voiced that there is no such thing as a moral or ethical family vlogger. If I came from the way family vlogging was done in Shari's position and from her perspective, I agree with her 100%. There is not one thing about the way 8 Passengers did family vlogging that was moral or ethical. So I think Shari is completely valid in her perspective.
And that she does not plan to stop family vlogging at any point, in part because of input that she's received from her children.
And then we took it to our kids and we said, what would you guys think if we stopped showing you? You know, what if we kept filming and we just didn't show you? And it hurt their feelings. And they said, well, why would you do it without us? And it made them feel insignificant. It made them feel not a part of what we were doing.
Bonnie compares children appearing in family vlogs to children working for family businesses.
Children have worked for family businesses for as long as time. And sure, if there is a lack of protection around kids in that area, great, go for that. Do I think the answer to what happened to the 8 passengers is taking away family vlogging from everybody? I don't think so.
As a Utah Mormon, Bonnie has grown up steeped in the lore of the pioneers. Settler children worked hard on family farms, but that was a matter of survival. Family vlogs are not a matter of life and death. They're a matter of convenient employment for stay-at-home moms. These moms who want to be traditional stay-at-home moms find, especially in this economy, especially with families that have 3 or more children, it's really difficult to get by on one income. And so family vlogging, it's easy to see how that seems like an answer to prayer.
Look, the dark side calls all of us.
Look, every day we say to each other, like, we're saints for not posting our adorable children.
But you know, we could do it a little bit.
In successful family vlogs, I would argue that children aren't just working for a family's enterprise. They are the enterprise. People are only watching because of the kids. I'm gonna be a little mean here for a second, but Bonnie is one of those people where if she didn't have a large family, if she wasn't connected to Ruby Franke, I don't think that she would have much of an audience. While she does seem like a much nicer person than her sister, she just isn't as compelling of an on-screen presence. It was Ruby's hysteria that made her interesting to watch. Who can forget her crying in the car over her kids performing a dance routine for a school recital to a Flo Rida song. Shari has also talked about the humiliation and the difficulty of being a child and having a huge online audience. In that position, children have to endure cruel commentary, often from adults. Shari mentioned in her speech that there was a rumor among 8 Passenger fans about an indecent relationship between her and her brother.
I did not realize the impact that filming as a child would have on me now. My social media became flooded with rumors of having sexual relations with my own brother, to being called a baby birthing machine at the age of 13. All these things have stuck with me, and I will forever live between the ages of 13 to 17 in many of my viewers' minds.
Shari also mentioned in her book that it bothered her how much 8 Passenger viewers would say that out of the 6 children, that she was the biggest suck-up to her mom, and she was frustrated that people just didn't understand how much she had to do behind the scenes to manage her mom's moods.
I dissected a life's worth of interactions with Ruby, searching for clues for some logical explanation as to why I felt so very disliked by the woman who gave birth to me. My mind drifted to the comments I'd read online about myself, words of strangers on YouTube who thought they knew me based on carefully edited snippets of my life. Ugh, Shari is such a kiss-ass. She's always ratting out her siblings and trying to be Ruby's favorite. So smug. Was that why Ruby didn't love me? Because I came across as a suck-up goody two-shoes? Our subscribers didn't understand what it was like to live under Ruby's iron fist. They didn't know the consequences of stepping out of line. I'm not sucking up, I'm surviving, I thought.
There's a difference.
Bonnie argues in her video that the way she does family vlogging is not abusive, is not exploitative the way Ruby's family vlogs were.
I'm coming from a complete opposite perspective. My kids have a voice. Their feelings matter. They have a say in what they want. They are paid not with vacations, not with clothes or other things like that. They are employees, they get W-2s, and they have a retirement that is growing in the stock market as we speak. And when they turn 18, my name will not be on their account.
But this fact remains that if you are courting an online audience and you have your children as a subject of your content, they're going to be subject to these kinds of unwanted comments. And, you know, as a young kid, as a teenager, it can be a lot to handle, and it can be really emotionally, psychologically devastating. She knows that, and she's decided to proceed as usual.
While Bonnie isn't as exploitative as Ruby in her thumbnails, there are still thumbnails that I think could potentially be very embarrassing to her children, and there are also thumbnails that deal with medical diagnoses, which I just don't think should be public information.
In my opinion, Bonnie works against her argument when she brings up the issue of consent.
You can make the argument they don't have informed consent. Well, what is consent for a child? A child can't even go in for a well check without parental consent. They can't be enrolled in school without the parental consent. And so their consent is me.
Bonnie, right. Babe, that's the whole point. Parents give consent on behalf of their children because they lack the maturity to understand what it is they're consenting to. And that's the whole thing with family vlogging. Your kid might say, yes, Mom, I want to be in this family video. There is a distinct power imbalance in the parent-child relationship. And do your children really feel empowered to say that they don't want to participate in a family vlog when you've already set the camera up, you've already planned everything out? You have to be honest with yourself. Like, what is that dynamic?
Most child influencers would probably tell you they have full control over what is posted. But the reality is that their parents bribe and shame them into posting their most vulnerable moments. In fact, many child influencers may tell you that they enjoy their work because of the monetary perks they receive or the fun experiences that they can have. After all, what child would say no to a fun vacation or shopping spree if all they needed to do was film an embarrassing moment? But as children, we do not understand the consequences of filming our lives and posting it for the world to see.
Children can't assess the long-term consequences of appearing in a family vlog. That's for you to do. And you as a parent know, based on what your niece and nephew and other children who have graduated from family vlogs have said about family vlogging, you know that there can be long-term negative consequences.
Chad Franke, Ruby's eldest son, has spoken out in support of his sister and her book.
I thought I'd make a little video talking about my sister, her post on Instagram. I usually never talk about my family. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because she made it public, so I thought it would be appropriate to talk about it. I'm so happy about it. I've known about it just recently, though. And
he's also voiced his own criticisms of family vlogging.
Chad had a similar exchange with another influencer named Tiffany Burrell when he reached out to her criticizing a video that she had made where she documented her son's visit to a hospital.
Okay, and what seems to be the problem today?
Well...
Hey Tiffany, my name's Chad Franke. You may or may not have heard of my mom, Ruby Franke, who is known for her family YouTube channel, 8 Passengers. She was arrested almost a year ago for child abuse, but that of course isn't why I'm reaching out. I just happened to come across your page and found how similar your filming, especially with the kids, was to my experience growing up. In the video with your son at the doctor, you replied to a comment saying, "Don't worry, he's just acting for me." That honestly broke my heart and set me off. I wish you the best, but your kids, I promise, will grow to resent you, especially your teen boy. He's putting on a happy face in front of the camera. No child wants their mother to benefit off them on social media. You look like a clown. She responds, I'm actually quite pissed. You would come after a stranger you know nothing about. You are trying to project your pain and abuse on everyone else. Just because it happened to you doesn't mean it's happening to everyone. Some people are actually normal. I am not your mom, and my son is definitely not you. You need years of therapy. To go around thinking you see your situation in random strangers speaks volumes of your mental health. You need therapy like now. And I suggest you stay out of random strangers' DMs accusing and projecting your pain on innocent people. I love how she's using the fact that he needs therapy after surviving abuse at the hands of his mother against him. Just lovely. What a lovely person. I don't know anything about Tiffany Burrell's content, but I can sense that I'm not a fan. But they're basically saying the same thing, which is that you are taking out your pain on us. You experienced abuse and that's why you don't like family vlogging. And what Shari and chat are saying very clearly is that family vlogging is abuse. It's an inherently unfair situation because children can't negotiate with their parents because they don't know the value of their childhood, of what they're selling to their family's audience. I also really liked Shari's point that there is no other industry in which you can use child labor as long as you're paying enough for it.
But even despite a good paycheck, I want to be absolutely clear that there is no amount of money that can justify selling your soul as a child to the world. In no other industry would we justify unregulated child labor with a huge paycheck, and we should not do that here. If I could go back and do it all again, I'd rather have an empty bank account now and not have my childhood plastered all over the internet. No amount of money I received has made what I've experienced worth it.
Family vlogging is bad, and I need to wrap it up or I'm going to be in trouble with my boss, which is my baby. Because that's how it works in our household. She doesn't work for me, I work for her.
We all work for her.
We all work for them. Oh my God, I'm crushed under the tiny, adorable boots of my children. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was edifying in some way. Comment if you have an idea of a topic you'd like to see us cover in the future. Likes and comments for engagement are always helpful. As I've mentioned many times at this point, Andrew and I have 2 kids, so we never know when we're going to post again. So if you subscribe and hit the bell for notification, you'll be notified of our sporadic uploads. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Good night.